On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. We are about to have an amazing conversation. I'm super excited about it. Before we jump into it, I want to make sure that everyone has hit the like button on the way in. I want to make sure that if you've been here more than twice, go ahead and touch on that subscribe button. Make sure to check all notifications on. I promise not to flood your feed. I don't do that. I'm not that type of content creator. And last but not least, for the Wolfpack. This is definitely, I always tell you this, but this is definitely going to be one that you should probably share with some people because I'm about to ruffle some feathers. I'm about to throw my gauntlet down. I'm about to lay my line in the sand because things have changed. As things change, you either evolve or die. And so I'm going to talk about I'm personally pivoting. This is going to be a personal pivot for me to my investment strategy because I used to say it was Bitcoin and real estate for me because I do have my own property. So like I own a piece of property, but I was planning on getting some more property. And after owning this piece of property, I've changed my mind because we have just more efficient ways to do things. And honestly, I want everything set up to buy as much Bitcoin as I can get my grubby little fingers on because while I am a whole coiner, I do not want to stop there. I want to get as much as possible because this is a wealth transfer and I want to make sure that I am securely on the right side of it. Even though having over one Bitcoin already, I know that I'm on the right side of it, but everything that I'm doing is setting up so that I can put my focus and my attention on acquiring even more at a faster clip. So like we've dialed back a little bit in our purchase and acquisition of Bitcoin. We're getting ready to start ratcheting that back up. And, we're getting to a spot where we want our debt cleared where I have a feeling economically we're about to be going through some trial and tribulation. And I just want myself positioned to capitalize on it in the best way possible. And that would be having my debt cleared so that I am ready to deploy or can deploy so that I can build up my income base even faster. So what's the pivot? I'm kind of over real estate. I am over real estate. And one of the reasons is, and I'm going to bring this to the screen because I want you guys to be a part of this conversation and learn along with me. And what this is, and I know that my real estate agent friends are about to be super upset, but I'm putting it on the screen because math is math. And when you're talking real estate, they sell you on emotion. People who make emotional decisions, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Most of them are broke. I'm just saying they're brokies. And we're not trying to be brokies over here on the Wolfpack. So when I see something or I sniff something out or I see something that's amazing, and I've had this conversation with a couple of my Wolfpackians that are tapped in with me. I talk to people. I do. As much as I can. Obviously, I'm out working during the day too. When people hit me up, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm out here grinding just like you are because I am. But, I've had some really great conversations with some of the people that have tapped in and like keep in contact with me, which is awesome because I love talking about money and they like talking about money. We're kind of on the same page and it keeps me motivated and I'm sure it keeps them motivated because it's nice to know that you're not the only one doing this. And a lot of times you're the only one doing this. Like I have a handful of people that I can talk to about money and everybody else, it's just generalized BS conversation that doesn't matter to me or anyone else. So I do appreciate that. Also, tapping in with you guys down in the comments. Make sure to leave comments. I reply to comments. It takes me a little while, especially during the summer, because I'm out here grinding. I was out in the heat all day today, almost got heat stroke. So, make sure for those of you who actually do construction, for those of you who are outside, for my fellow blue collarians, stay hydrated. It's very important. Stay hydrated. But this is the reason. What is the target rate of return? And this was my question. I let AI answer. So this is a cumulative answer, and I realistically doubt that there's anyone, and I would love to have this conversation. I would love to schedule a live to debate, argue, listen to your emotional outcries with any of my real estate agent friends, because I'm putting this out here. So like, stop asking me if I'm selling my house. A, I'm not. And B, stop asking me if I'm buying a house, because B, I've got a better plan for my money. What is the target rate of return that most, and this is the majority. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some guy who gets on in the comments or comments on this post on Facebook or or on X or on, probably not on Instagram, because I don't really talk trash on there. I just kind of post that I've dropped a video. But somebody's going to want to have a comeback, a witty retort. Oh, I get over 12% if I bought a house. Like, yeah, no one can buy houses, bro. No one can buy houses. So now that no one can buy houses, what percentage are you getting now? If you were to go into real estate now at these rates, especially if you're doing a commercial loan, like even if you're FHA flipping, I mean, technically speaking, I could buy my house again now, but like I would not be able to invest the way that I'm investing. My mortgage and rent would be substantially higher. It'd be more about double higher than what it is now. So when I'm talking about real people, I'm not talking about some hypothetical situation where you bought your house in 2000 or you got it in 2008. It's paid off now, whatever. Oh, you paid your house off in 15 years. No one cares. No one cares, because that's not real for real people now. I'm talking about now. I don't care about now. I'm talking about now forward. These tools just became available within the last 3 months. Within the last 3 months, people couldn't buy houses. People are still on TikTok complaining about never being able to buy a house because they're never going to be able to buy a house. They're running the Dave Ramsey plan. They're doing the boomer plan. They're never going to be rich. They're never going to be well off. They're never going to be comfortable. They're going to be concerned forever. So no one can buy a house. Now that we've got that settled, because the math is the math, they're saying between 5 to 10%. That's interesting, with sometimes aiming for 12%. Okay, cool. 2%. Commercial real estate, a typical good ROI is between 8 and 10%, and brick and mortars are going away. All the malls looking toothless. They look like crackhead Kathy on the corner begging for change after she reached the peak of strong independent womanhood. There's gaps in the stores. Brick and mortars are going away. People are going direct to consumer. Influencers are bypassing stores altogether. You don't need a store. I find you on TikTok and I'll just buy directly from you. You don't even need a store anymore. You need no employees, no overhead. It's just you and a drop shipper. They press a button, somebody prints it and sends it. Or you've got a product, you package it and mail it yourself. Cut everybody. Everyone's a one-man business now. Everybody's got a business. They're providing jobs that aren't actually jobs. They're just ordering stuff from China. Times are a-changing. Again, the math is the math is the math. And I honestly, as a homeowner, I'm telling everybody, I still believe that you should own a home. I do. And the reason being is your rent's going to go up indefinitely, because most of you are renting from an amorphous corporate blob that is not even a part of this country, and they are going to juice you because they don't care and they don't have to actually see you. For those of you who actually rent from a human being like myself, you're welcome, because I don't raise rent. So, I'm house hacking. So my roommate now, because the one that I helped got to where it was going. Hopefully the other one finds his way at some point. But the rent hasn't changed in over 5 years. I bet most of you watching this, your rent goes up every year. Amorphous blob. Either that or you're renting from a version of me that's greedy. Like also a possibility, but most likely an amorphous blob that isn't even in this country, just some random corporate entity, somebody that doesn't care about you. They don't care about the working man's plight in America. They just want your dollars. And they're going to get them because you can't afford a house. So you are now trapped in this system. Or you're renting from BlackRock, and they don't want you to ever be able to buy a house because they want all the houses and they want you to rent them from them. So Reckless rate and arrow. What? Well, if they're targeting 5 to 10% returns, what do you have that does better than that? Well, I've got a few things. Like the first thing you could do, I mean, if you didn't need cash flow, because those are cash flow returns. If you don't need the cash flow, you could just buy Bitcoin and completely bypass this altogether. I would prefer to have Bitcoin than an additional house. Now, I do want my primary house because it suffices as a home base, and it protects me from getting my rent raised every year, because most of you get your rent raised more every year than I go up in taxes. And people are like, oh, well, the taxes. Like, well, fun thing. You get to choose where you live. That's the first thing. If you don't like the tax situation where you live, move. Me, fortunately, I have 2 states that I get to choose from, and I can play them against each other. I got Missouri and Kansas. Kansas taxes are lower. Guess where I live? But you get to choose. And honestly, like once you break out of the financial matrix that they've got you in, what we're working on over here, work optional, retire early, after that income is set, that dividend portfolio is kicking off what it needs to be kicking off, I don't have to live anywhere I don't want to. I can go anywhere. It's going to be great. I mean, I'm going to still have my stuff here, but like I'll be able to go anywhere. I buy a house out of this country for cheap with my Bitcoin and dollars, right? So those are you have a choice in that. But my taxes have gone up. I think accumulative from when I first moved in, we're about $150 up over 5 years. I can beat that hurdle rate. That's easy money. Easy money. I can do that. You guys are getting gouged for over $100 every year. If you're lucky, it's $100 every year. At 150 over 5. Do the math on that. Next to nothing compared to what you're getting jerked for every year at somebody's behest because they want more of your American dollars because they don't care about you. Congratulations. You're an adult. So with that said, so we're looking at a peak. Some people look for 12%. And honestly, in this market, if you're out there targeting and you're getting 12%, that's cool. But the thing you got to do is you still got to deal with tenants. And if you're in regular real estate, you got to deal with not the greatest tenants. And I understand that there's people out there who say that they have the best tenants and they get the best rental properties. And it's like, cool, you still got to put money into it because they do the same video about why you should be renting since they rent to you. Oh, well, the maintenance on your house. And that is true. We are knee deep in maintenance. There's always a project. There's always something to be worked on. There's always something that can be improved. There's always a reckless Ray do list that I have. True story. But I'd rather manage that than manage the expectation that somebody wants $500 more out of me next year just because they feel like it with no improvement on the property. Because they said so. I don't like because I said so. I can deal with it because I said so in the form of taxes. It's amorphous. I don't really notice it. Mortgage changes a little bit. But I don't want somebody sending me a letter every year talking about, I need a couple of $100 more out of you. Oh, inflation. I sold the building to another corporation that I own so I can end this contract. I need another $500 out of you. Oh, 3 months later, did it again. Oh, now I need another $1,000 out of you. Those prices aren't going. Who got a letter that said your rent went down? Hit me in the comments. I want to know about it. I do want to know about it. Did your rent go down? Has anybody ever gotten that letter like, hey, we're going to lower your rent because we like you? Is that a thing? My rent in my entire history of renting never went down. Only went up. Only went one direction, up. So, looking at 5 to 12%. So what's Reckless Ray doing? Now, as the title of the video says, you already know where this is going. So let's just go on and take a look at what's going on. What's Ray doing? Well, the first thing that I want to show you, this is how I'm looking at paying my house off. So I stopped Now, I am going to keep my process of paying out an additional month every year. Every year at the beginning of the year in January, I make 2 mortgage payments to just go ahead and kick it on down, kick it out, give myself a little bit more of a buffer every year, just in case. I am going to continue to do that, but I was also putting extra money towards my mortgage, which a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, well, you can't get 30 or more. You got to pay so much in interest on that, and it's going to cost you so much money. You got to pay it off in 15 years, or you're not doing it right. Well, you know, shout out to Anton Daniels. That's where that came from. I disagree. The math doesn't math on that. And I always say, but there's a caveat, and I understand that to the audience over there, shout out to the bag chasers, they're at a certain level. And as Anton Daniels says, there's levels to this. And there is levels to financial architecture and financial literacy, regardless of how much money you make. Because I understand the next thing that comes up is, oh, well, he makes way more money than you. Absolutely. He wanted his game. But the game now is a little bit different. And while everybody who's selling you something tells you that you can do exactly what they did, and like those sound principles are sound principles, like regurgitating the richest man in Babylon, obviously it's not new knowledge. The way people break it down can be new knowledge. But when it comes to telling people what they have to do and what you're talking to the masses, and over here in the Wolfpack, we are not the masses. So the reason I personally got a 30-year loan is because I wanted more money in the market, because I'm buying Bitcoin, which is out appreciating my home at a rapid clip, and my home's going up in value very fast because I'm in a desirable area. I know how to buy some real estate. I know how to find a deal. But I would rather have that money in Bitcoin for as long as possible, because as Anton Daniels is currently bending the knee to Bitcoin and talking about it more favorably because he did his research, because you don't need Bitcoin till you need it. He's already rich. He gonna die rich. And he's, even though we're like, I think he's actually a little bit younger than me, but mentality wise, he's a dinosaur on the boomer plan. And it worked for him, which is dope. Like, I'm like, cool. I'm way dumber than he is. So we boomer plan ain't gonna work for me. like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just not what it is. We're doing stuff a little bit different. We boots on the ground down here. I know I'm no mountaintop, but we working our way up there. But I wanted access to invest those funds, because at 3.5%, even over 30 years, the extra amount, and we do this every month where I tell you what my investment percentage ratio was, and the bottom end of it is 40. So, you know, we're actually utilizing the money the way that it's supposed to. You don't see me sitting up here with Gucci robes trying to put on my Versace shades. One of my prizes for myself, though, is I'm getting a pair of Versace sunglasses for my cruise. It's going to happen. And I'm going to hit my metric so that I can get those. And they're going to be paid for with my dividends so that I can get those. Because that's, you know, the money spigot giveth plenty. And by the time it's time to make those moves, I will be at a set rate. I've got a target, and that's going to be one of my incentives, because I want to have some nice sunnies for the cruise. I want to wear them. They're going to be awesome. And I'm going to feel super good about it. I'm going to take a bunch of pictures for you guys. I'm gonna do the cruise thing, but I'm not going to post them all year. I'm just going to post them when I get back, and I probably won't even post all the pictures I take. But I'm going to take some pictures. But I mean, you're also managing the property. You've got tenants that you got to clean up after. If you're not, even if they're perfect tenants, you've still got maintenance on the house. Like, it's what it is. So, like, one of the benefits, if you're, well, actually, before that, we're going to go with what I'm doing. So I'm going to be using STRK specifically. I'm using this to pay off my house. Why? Because STRK offers a fixed annual dividend of 8% based on $100 liquidation preference. So for every share, you're getting $8 basically. Every, I think, fixed. Well, actually, I guess we'll see. So it's going to be 8%. So it's $8 spread out throughout the year. And there's 4 quarters. So I think it's like $2 a quarter. And based on the share. So every share you get $2. Cool. I rock with that. Also, this sits you right in the middle of what your return ratio is between 5 and 12. Like it's right up there. It's almost 10, not quite 10, but almost 10. What else do you get with Strike? You get convertibility. So if MicroStrategy hits $1,000, you also get access to the upside on MicroStrategy. So this is a little bit of an aggressive play. But there's also the ability to convert 10 shares of Strike into a share of MicroStrategy, MSTR, when MicroStrategy hits $1,000. I do believe that that's a possibility. So that's a pretty good kicker on there too. But I am hand over fist dumping my extra income that I would be paying on my mortgage. So I have like a stipend that comes out of my dividend payment every month that goes directly over into an additional payment on my mortgage. So I'm putting that into Strike right now. And what we'll do is we'll take that up, and I am going to actually, it's not even probably. What I'm going to be doing is I'll be taking all of these dividends, and I will not be setting them to drip. I know this is going to be crazy. What are you going to do with the dividends? Oh, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. That's what we're doing. So all roads will lead to Rome, but I'm going to build this position because I will have upside and convertibility, and obviously I will have dividends, but I won't be dripping until I get to about 50% of my payoff rate. And then we'll start, using a stipend of that dividend. We'll probably cut it out at a 50-50 split because there'll be a good amount of Strike built up in my in-home banking portfolio, which will be shifting, but like the Strike position will stay wherever the in-home banking portfolio is. We're going to be making some adjustments after we hit about $5,000 in our in-home banking funds, which is being housed in IMST. But we're going to be looking at this as another home. So then what do we do when we start breaking off 50%? So once we start breaking off at 50% rate, those quarterly dividends, we're going to go ahead and start paying the mortgage down. Now, my mortgage payoff for me is $20,000 because at $20,000, my dividend income can cover the home. I will have assets backing the home. I can come up with $20,000 in my sleep at that point. And I want to keep, because I'm going to be in and out of the country, I want my taxes and stuff still handled by the bank. I'm going to pay them a little bit of money. I don't believe in ever paying your home off. I believe in keeping it around like $15,000, $20,000 because you got something in there, so they still have to handle your taxes and stuff. I don't want to do that. And I know maybe after a certain point of wealth, maybe I will, but not likely. I don't want to do it. Like, I would prefer to just have somebody else do that, and I would prefer it to be the bank because just paying the mortgage is easier, and it's going to be a baby insignificant mortgage. Also, that Strike position, be kicking off quarterly dividends. I'm going to just pay that and just pay it. It's going to be great. And then I also will have a liquidity pool of equity that I can just tap to do other stuff. Now, what happens after we get that position done? I'm going to open up another account at my brokerage that's going to be called Property 2. What are we going to do with Property 2? Oh, that's going to be interesting. So what other tools do we have in here for Property 2? So this is just going to be putting in the amount of whatever the average property, the average home costs at said time. We're going to roll over into the next tool that MicroStrategy has graced us with. Now, I call these tools that people are like, oh, these are funds. No, they're tools. Just like high yield and high yield dividends are a tool. I consider all of these things tool. Even my long-term holdings, like my Bitcoin treasury long-term holdings, my picks in there. What do I consider that? It's a tool. It's Bitcoin I'm willing to part ways with. I'll sell MicroStrategy and I won't feel bad about it. I'll sell 21 Capital. I won't feel bad about it if I needed to. We're going to borrow against it at a certain point, but I could sell it and I would be okay. Like if I had to liquidate something, I'd rather sell that than my Bitcoin. It's a tool. It's a buffer system. I have a 3-tiered buffer system. Income, long-term portfolio holdings that we can also leverage. Since we have an income portfolio, we can leverage the long-term and pay that back. I can leverage my income portfolio and let the dividends pay that back. I have ways to just create and cycle money. That's the name of this game. Also, with these tools, I don't have maintenance or people to deal with. Really, I mean, obviously, you got to be able to pay the debt back. But outside of that, I don't have anyone calling me to unclog a toilet. I don't have to worry about anything getting broken. I don't have to worry about repairs. I don't have to worry about maintenance. All I have to do is sit and catch my check. Okay, so the next tool that we have is STRF, STRF, offered by MicroStrategy. Now, they've really done something because he said he's attacking the bond market, but like the knock-on effect of this is he's attacking the real estate market, because what do you get from STRF? This is a cash, low-risk, 10% annualized dividend, which means on STRF you get $2.50 a quarter, totaling up to $10 because it's based on a $100 liquidation as well. Basically, you're getting $10 no matter what. Funny thing is, STRF is actually, bug not a feature, appreciating. Because like it's supposed to kind of be kind of boring and stable around $100. It's over $100 with a price target of $137. So that's going to put that a little bit below 10, but with the price target of 137, you have upside if you're buying right now, because at present, year to date, it's up 9.34%, beating the S&P 500 year-to-date return of 2.58%. Craziness. That's insane. So you've got this boring, low-risk product that's giving you $10, and this is based on a strike price of $100. You got 10% right there. Now you're on the you're in the mix with the real estate guys. Oh, but the real estate appreciates and you can leverage it. Well, the funny thing is, these are bonds. Basically, once they are classified as a qualified bond, your maintenance on margin for these, you're going to be able to borrow your face off against these products. Be able to margin it. Just like the real estate guys. Yeah, that's funny. You can actually borrow against stocks. Like I know a lot of people don't know about that. And I understand a lot of people don't really grasp the concept, but like you can actually pull money out of your brokerage account on margin. Like I can generate margin and go negative in my account and put dollars into my bank account, do whatever I want with. So I got leverageability too. And once you start putting house numbers in there, let's do the pros versus cons. Now, if you're rich, the one thing that you don't get with these products is the tax write-off. It's not a tax shelter. But for those of us who are starting out, I'm not rich. I'm not rich yet. I'm not at Anton Daniels level. I'm not at, who else is out there? Grant Cardone's level. And I mean, Grant Cardone's pivoting from real estate into Bitcoin too. Everyone's bending the knee because all roads lead to Rome. It just makes sense. But something that those of us who are starting out from a strategic perspective, I'm saying get your first house. Don't rush to pay it off. Pay as little as you can on that thing. I do like having a cushion in case something happens. And so like right now we're at a 2-month cushion. Come January, we'll be at a 3-month cushion. Year down the road, we'll kick it out to 4 months. And depending on how I'm feeling about that, I might go ahead, because like I'm planning on capping it out at about 6 months. I figure half a year, if you can't figure out something in half a year, actually, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to kick it out to a year. If you can't figure something out in a year, you got something going on. Like, that's a problem. So we're targeting getting out to a year, but the extra income that we're doing, we're going to go ahead and utilize Strike for the first one. And then my second property, Strife, will be covering this house that I'm in right now where I'm recording. The next property we're going to do STRF, which is just straight cash, low risk. We'll get that $10 a year, quarterly, $250 per share, and we're going to have a lot of shares because it's going to be whatever the average price of a home is. That's going to be the target price. And so we'll pick that target price, probably going to be about $250,000, and we're just going to keep funneling money in there, and it's going to generate money every year. I mean, every quarter you get a payment. If you don't, it rolls over and the payment gets bigger, which is awesome because like there's a penalty if they don't pay you the dividend. So it's like, oh, well, what if you don't get a dividend a month? That's almost the equivalent of getting called and told you had a clogged toilet, but instead of you having to go fix the toilet, they gave you more toilet. It's the way that I'm looking at it. Oh, you're inconvenienced. Great, because I don't live hand to mouth. I don't understand how these people are out here doing that, making over six figures. I make under six figures, and I don't live hand to mouth. Like that is crazy. I live hand to mouth in outside perspective, 100%, because I would prefer to buy dividends. I'd prefer to buy assets, firearms, and bullets. Like that's kind of the stuff that I like to spend money on. I force myself. Shout out to Andon Daniels. He did a little video for the bag chasers on how to keep your wardrobe evergreen and kind of keep stuff cycling in. And I do a really bad job of following that regimen because I don't value Versace robes or any of those things. Like I have clients that are multimillionaires that don't wear that stuff. So I just have a different perspective on it because like the wealthy people that I see aren't wealthy people on YouTube. So it's just a little bit different. But I do make myself buy clothes every once in a while. And it's a hard fought battle because I would prefer to buy assets with that money. Like that's what I value. I value that. I like cars. I also like cars. So we're going to be getting back once we're running the way that we want to. One of my lifestyle creeps is I will probably my next vehicle actually will be faster than the vehicle that I have now and a little bit more space. It's just a hair, but it's definitely going to be fast. So faster for sure at minimum with a little bit of utility. We're looking at fast and utility, which is faster than I have now. I got a little hybrid Lexus. It's not fast, but I enjoy it. And it gets great gas mileage. So, you know, it's the things that you value. And I do spend money on that. I spend money on equipment, phones, I've almost broken myself from the need to upgrade phones. So like now I'm waiting darn near 3 generations before I get a new phone, which is an accomplishment for me because I used to be a 1-year phone guy. And equipment for recording, like stuff that I'm doing. I like I'm getting some more health and fitness stuff. I'm super into that, obviously. Me and Anton got different builds. So me and most of your gurus got different builds. Like it's just, we built different over here. So it's one of those things where as we're breaking it down and looking at it, I'm like, real estate doesn't make sense for me. And I don't think it makes sense for a lot of people starting out where you're going, oh yeah, you got to own all the property. Like I'd say you need to own your property, the one that you live in, for sure. For sure. And I mean, I know that's counter. They're like rent, and then you go to buy another place and rent that to somebody else. Like now you're responsible for them. Like it'd be better to just not have your rent go up. Honestly, like everybody's not going to be a multi-millionaire social media influencer because I know a bunch of millionaires and very few of them are on the internet, on YouTube specifically as an influencer. They're just not. They're not. It's like that's not real. So that's the equivalent of trying to get into the NBA. Like I do this because I know I'm going to have family members that are like, oh, I really wish I would have sat down and talked to you when I had the chance, and I can show them this with my pettiness and be like, I don't have time. Go through those videos and then holler at me after you figure something out. That's all the information I have. Like you can't do what I'm doing now. Because like once you're at the mountaintop, that information becomes dated. The stuff that I was doing in crypto 5 years ago, completely dated now. Can't even do it. When I started in crypto, people asked me about mine and they're like, oh, you used to mine. I'm like, yeah, you can't do that now. Like There's so many things that it's just like you can't even do that anymore. And that was 5 years ago. And these dudes talking about I've been rich for 12 years, 20 years, whatever. I was already a millionaire. Like, okay, so like your information is super dated. Like, have you had to go to work and do anything else lately? Like, I don't know. So, you know, it's what it is. It is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. But like, we have opportunities that didn't exist in 2019 when I bought this property. I mean, even rolling past 2019 over COVID, when I started going all in on Bitcoin, like I'm so happy that I was able to completely focus on that, but I could have bought more Bitcoin more efficiently had I taken a year and gotten this right, which is what we've done. We basically took a year off to get this set up right. And now that we're coming out the other side of it, it's like they released these two products specifically. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, why didn't you bring up Stride? Because Stride doesn't fit into my personal plan. I think it's a great product. It could be a great tool for someone, but I'm going to be able to do everything that I need to do that I'm focused on off of these two, because outside of that, like I'd rather just buy MicroStrategy than have Stride personally. Like it just doesn't have that benefit for me because these are guaranteed cash products. I can replace houses with these products. If I just want cash flow, if I need a place to park cash, because you're going to start seeing in my income portfolio, you're going to see Strife showing up there. If there's no reason to have a savings account at this point, why would you keep your money in a savings account in a bank when you could just park it in Strife? Why? Like, what's the point of the bank? Like, I was planning on getting my bank account balances to where there was $150, $200 in each of the accounts. There will be $25 in each of the accounts at this point. Because what's the point? Like this, it just doesn't make sense to even keep money in the bank. Why? like, why would I do that? Like that, you not like 10% interest rates? Like, are you dumb? Do you not like a little bit of, I mean, with Strife, there's even upside with Strife, and it's supposed to be boring. This is the low risk side of things. And you're going to keep money in the bank? Like, no. This is going to be second house. Strike is going to be, Strike is going to be covering the initial property. This is going to be the second property. And then if I decide that I want a vacation or something to Airbnb to play with, no long-term rentals. I have no intention of ever having long-term rentals. I want Airbnbs that I can be jumping in and out of as I see fit, and I'll take them off the market so that I can go hang out at my spot because it's somewhere I want to be. There's literally no point in the boomer model of I'm going to own a bunch of houses. You need one house, and then if you're going to own a bunch of properties, own properties, places you want to go visit, and Airbnb them, have them be short stay, get a contract with a cleaning service that goes through and cleans it in between the stays, and have that set up to where it's churning a little bit of income. But before I buy that second property, it will already be paid for, and then I will be paying for that property out of the dividend from this. And, you know, I might have to HELOC out a little bit out of this property, the one that I'm sitting in, or I can borrow against my strike, because that's going to be the equivalent of this property at a certain point. I got a bunch of tools at my disposal now. The same way that MicroStrategy is showing you how they're creating tools for them to be able to buy Bitcoin, because I can use these tools to buy Bitcoin as well. I can buy Bitcoin in bulk once I can borrow, because the dividends will pay it back. I can honestly not worry about it. I also have a really good income portfolio going. And I mean, I will probably be doing this while I'm working, because that's probably going to be one of the first plays, is getting enough in there to where I can start pulling chunks out, or I'm generating enough income to where I'm being able to buy chunks of Bitcoin. I've already started putting it back into my, dipping the toes in just a little bit, but I've already started incorporating it back into my direct deposit so I can start pulling out of my checks. So that way, as we're paying this debt off, we're going to be having a dedicated bare minimum stipend going over to start building up that Bitcoin portfolio. And, you know, shout outs to Jack Mahler. We are going to be using Strike. Not Strike from MicroStrategy, Strike the app for Bitcoin. Probably the cheapest place to buy and get Bitcoin to cold storage. There's no fees for transfers to cold storage from Strike. So, you know, something to think about. I'm starting to reuse the platform. One of my Wolfpack members, we were talking about it, and like he's on there. I've been doing some research. I'd set it up, and I really wasn't happy that the minimum in the state that I'm in isn't what it needs to be. They want you to have a ton of Bitcoin on their platform, and I'm like, I'm not moving my Bitcoin off cold storage on there to borrow against it. Like, it's not happening. But I'll build up another position to borrow against. So we'll continue doing that, and then hopefully the price on it or the minimum on that comes down, because it kind of right now where it's at is just completely unrealistic for most people. And I doubt that there's that many whole coiners in my state to even use the platform on that level, because you have to have over a whole coin. So, you know, it's cool and it's novel, but like we're building up a bag, and then I'll find out where they have the minimum that I need. And you know what? We might be buying a property there, so that way I can be in that state and then use the product the way that it was intended, because this is the limit that they have is stupid. But as we're sitting here talking about this, like, this is the reason that I don't have the zest or the need for real estate in the same way. Like, I'm still going to want to own real estate in places that I want to be, but it's going to be for short-term rentals only, cleaning staff, something that's churn and burn. And like, if I can break even some months, cool, but we're going to have an asset that pays for that anyway. And we're going to look at it from a wealth expansion deal. And sure, there'll be some tax write-offs eventually because like the majority of my wealth is going to be generated from the income core holding. So, you know, we'll definitely be using those tax write-offs, but it is not a pertinent at this juncture where I'm at right now. Like, we're talking something like 5 years down the road. I'll be retired before I need that second property to have a second physical property to have tax write-offs. But as we're sitting here and we're talking about it, it's like, these are exciting times. There's so many different strategies that can be implemented. And I'm not saying that this is the only way that you can use these products or these tools, but this is the way that I could see it being a more beneficial path to go, unless actually, I mean, the math doesn't math right now with the interest rates where they are. Like, I don't see why you would want to take on the risk of dealing with a person. What if we get locked down again, and then you got to just sit with them in the property, not paying you for a few years? Like, what are you going to do then? Like, I don't know. Like, there's just so many terrible things that are included with renting. Like, even with house hacking, like, I live here, and it's like, there's times where I'm like, you know, like, this might not be the play for too much longer. And, you know, we won't have to for too much longer. But for right now, it is the play. But it's just like, there's a bunch of stuff that you have to deal with, even if it's like you have someone renting out a room from you in the house that you live in, that are just unknown unknowns. So you're just like, oh, like, I didn't realize we were going to need to do that. Oh, I got to fix this. Oh, I changed the garbage disposal. That's now in my skill set. Never thought I was going to do that. But like, there's a bunch of stuff, and you got to do the math on it and be like, cool, do I want to do this, or do I want to pay somebody to come over here and do this? And for me personally, I'm like, I'd rather invest. I'm like, I'll do it. Like, I'll do it. Like, cool, I'll do it myself. Like, I'm going to learn something today. And it's all good and well, but it's like, since no one can afford a house, it's like, okay, so like, what can we get into? Like, what tools are available? And there aren't people that are talking about the availability across the board, across the spectrum of all the tools. It's like we're sitting here And everybody has this one thing, or they're like, this one thing does everything. No, it doesn't. And it literally doesn't. Like, now I have to do these videos where I talk about why this is X, Y, and Z isn't the only thing that I hold. And if I was forced and relegated to hold one thing, it would be Bitcoin. Not even a question. Like, not even a thought. If they were like, yo, you got to get rid of all the other investments except for one thing, I'd be like, cool, I'll just buy Bitcoin. Because I know I'm going to win now. I'm going to win at that game. Guaranteed. These other things are nice, but the end goal of all the stuff that we're doing is to either more efficiently house property. We want to have things that are paid for by other things that don't require us to physically have to go to work. Put those in place specifically for things. And we also want to be able to grow our wealth well into the future exponentially. So the ethos of my investment strategy collectively is either it affords me high income or exponential growth, which high yield dividends, high yield bond products offered from Bitcoin-backed bond products, which are Bitcoin narrative offered by MicroStrategy, and Bitcoin. Those are the only three things that I need. Everything is either tied to Bitcoin, my long-term holdings, Bitcoin treasuries. I might put some Palantir in there, maybe. AI, part of a narrative. Defense AI, even better. Because obviously we've made it very apparent that we're not stopping going to war, and Palantir's going to spy on us all anyway. So it's what it is. Like, we're gonna go ahead and make the money, and then I'll just be on an island where they don't want to look at me. That sounds grand, and they'll keep paying. So, but that's the ethos. So everything that I'm doing, 98% of it is tied to Bitcoin. My portfolio, very focused. I do not believe in diversification. I'm not rich. I don't have time. I'm not going to go, because everybody is, oh, you just got to go get a better paying job. Oh, you got to go do this boot camp and go to college and get an IT. Like, dude, like, again, boomer model, and it worked for some people, but like, we are where we're at. like you can't stop your life and just be like, oh yeah, just go to college for 4 years, get your degree so that you can move up the corporate ladder, and you just go out there and eat crow at some job that you hate, deal with a bunch of people that you don't like, not be able to talk to women in the workplace because you're going to get written up for saying hi, and now you're harassing people for saying good morning, and if you don't say good morning, they're going to say that you're standoffish. Why would you want to be there any longer than you have to be? Matter of fact, why would you want to be in any job longer than you have to be? Utilized as a tool, as a resource, and not appreciated. Now, if you work at NVIDIA, I want to be there. I want to be the janitor at NVIDIA. If they got any openings to pick up trash, call your boy. Like, you need some category fittings done, you need your IT looked at, somebody get me a job at NVIDIA. I will go there, because that guy made his whole company rich. That's a company that people should be at. And I don't know how many of those exist, but all the rest of them, why? Why would you? And unless you love what you do, but I still think that you should have, everybody should be striving for at minimum work optional. I'm not saying don't go to work, because me personally, I can't not go to work, but like, I would much rather do something a lot less stressful that pays a lot less, where I could just show up and be another cog that's just there and do that and still make more money than the person who's supposedly bossing me around. And if I want to go do something, I'm just going to go do it and quit the job. Like, I can just quit. It's be like, cool, I'm not coming in. Like, who are you talking to? I make more than you. Why are you talking to me like that? Or go build something and maybe make something similar to NVIDIA, where you take care of the people that work for you, or work on stuff that you see value in. You should have the option. I want my time back. I want my control back. I don't want to have to ask for anything. I want to tell people I am leaving. I will be here, here, and here. This is my schedule. If you can't accommodate the schedule, then obviously I just can't work here. And like, that's fine, because I make more money than most of the people that work here anyway. I was just doing this for something to do. I go work on projects at my house. I got gutters clean. Like, what's up? We've got to start reframing how we look at things. There is no one thing fits all. I love Misty. It's not the be all end all. It's part of a strategy. I like high yield dividends. I like the income. I like checks that come in that's bigger than all of my checks that I get from my W-2. That's dope. But like doing that just to do it and you've got no purpose for those dollars, like what are you doing? There's still dollars. The dollar's being debased. You're fighting to get more of something that's going down in value anyway. You're saying that that's your entire portfolio? You are losing then. Like, sure, it's nice now, but like that has to keep ratcheting up because the dollar's being debased, which means that you're going to need more of them anyway. And you're not siphoning any of that money into anything long term that's going to outgrow inflation. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. As much as I'd like to say that there's a magic bullet, well, there is a magic bullet that fixes everything. If that's the time that you're on and you are not smart enough to build a portfolio and you're trying to be relevant moving forward and you're planning on working for a long time and generating a lot of income and you did the boomer plan, buy Bitcoin. Sure, that's the only hope you got. Like I know it doesn't sound good, but you better start buying them little fractions like I am. Because I have a whole Bitcoin. I have over a whole Bitcoin, and I'm still buying. And every year, that net worth just keeps looking better and better. And better and better. And month over month, we're doing better and better. Like now we're doing some of the other tools. We're using other things to get in a position to more efficiently buy more Bitcoin. But that's the goal, to more efficiently buy more Bitcoin. There's a thesis, and then you build your portfolio and your strategy around that thesis. But like, I'm not just buying Bitcoin because I have an income problem. And if I just buy Bitcoin, then I have to work longer because everyone's situation is their situation. And it's not that I don't want to, well, actually, I guess at this point it is kind of, I don't want to work, period. Like, I don't want to work anywhere where I have to be there. Like, honestly, that's where I'm at in life. And it's because I'm so close. I got 26 months left. I don't want to work anywhere that I have to be there. I don't want to have to work. That's the actual issue for me. That I have to get up. Like, well, you don't get up. How are you paying for that house? Oh, you don't do this. You don't come in and do this job on the hours that you don't want. Screw your birthday. Screw what you got going on. You got a house. How are you going to feed your cats? How are you going to take care of your kids? How are you going to take care of your family? Do you like that level of pressure? Do y'all really feel good about that? Like having to go to work, having to show up there, having to worry about the kids, the utilities. Hope little Timmy doesn't break his arm. What's my insurance? Do I have enough in the HSA? Oh, is the copay? Can we do that? Oh no, we gotta replace an alternator. I'm never going to financially recover from this. Oh, I got to get a set of tires. How are you going to pay for that car? How are you going to put fuel in it? Gas prices are going up. We're at war. Does that make you feel good? Do you feel good about that? You wake up every day and then people are like, oh, well, you got to do something. Oh, like, yeah, you do. I say that too. But like, do you want to have to? Do you? Does that make it okay that you just reside yourself to someone controlling your schedule? Because everybody can't be a CEO. There's a handful of them. Everybody can't be the manager. There's only so many management positions. You're moving chairs. You're moving the chairs. Most of you are moving the chairs. Most people are average. Most of you move chairs. And you have to move chairs. That actually makes it worse. That's what our focus is over here. That's the reason this is called future. This is not boomer. I'm sitting at the top of the mountaintop. This is, hey, we're looking at the most efficient way to get to work optional as expeditiously as possible. Not next Tuesday, having sound financials based on the tools that are available now, because these rich guys are not looking at the actual implication of these tools. These people are just fans. Like, I was in Bitcoin before Michael Saylor was in Bitcoin. I think he's very smart. I like the products and what he's doing with the market, but like nobody is talking about the strategic advantages that are being afforded to us right now. Like I used to say it's a financial hellscape. It is not a financial hellscape anymore. There's so many ways that you can get rich in this market. This is the most excited I've been about the traditional finance market in a long time, because it's going to allow me to get Bitcoin and property. And it's providing income. And I'm going to be able to retire early, be work optional early, be in control of my time earlier at a much faster clip than what was previously possible, even with buying Bitcoin. Now, going back, like if I would have just only bought Bitcoin back in 2013 when I was also mining Bitcoin, that could have been a game changer. But like we're at where we're at. The past is the past. We're in the present. Moving forward, I've got a trajectory. I've got a plan. I've got a thesis. So I hope you guys got some value out of this. This video went a little bit long, but I was excited to record this video. Like I skipped a bunch of other of my video ideas to get this one in the circulation faster, because it's been sitting heavy on me for days. I've been looking over it, been starting to implement it into my buys. So when we do the portfolio update for July, you're going to be seeing some of these holdings, and we're going to be revisiting this conversation. That's all I got for you. Tap in to the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited as I am? Like, I mean, I understand like everything's going on. And it seems like the world's just spinning, but like if you're focused on what needs to be focused on, there's so many opportunities right now. So many. And I don't want anyone in the wolf pack to miss a single one of them, which is why as they come up and as I implement them, I am documenting them here for you. And for those who are following behind me that didn't want to listen to me while I was actually doing these things. But, you know, now you can know what was going on behind the scenes and how old Reckless Ray Dinero got to where he got. Till next week, people. It's been a great episode. Don't forget to hit that like. If you've been here more than twice, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. Turn that bell notification all on. I promise not to flood your feed. And for the Wolfpack people, you've got it all. I know a lot of you listen to me sped up. Some of you listen to me on 3X. But now that you've gotten all those nuggets and gems, make sure to share those with people that you care about or people that you hate so you can compete with them fairly. Because we're not trying to eat at this table by ourselves. Till next week, this has been another episode of Future Financial Strategies. This is your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and I am out.
Money on my mind. Yeah. Focus, got no time for games. Nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name. But I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.